let's go on to lick number 6. A lot of controversy on this next one. A lot of our iMusicAcademy members were debating on this one versus the one that actually goes up to the octave, but we decided on the flat 7 to be the top note on this one. We do have another lick very similar, but it did not make it into the Sweet 16 because this one is very easy and accessible. Now, when you hear that lick, you're thinking, oh my gosh, that sounds really hard. I don't know if I can do it. Well, let me put your mind at ease by saying all you have to do is get set up the right way. Sometimes it just takes somebody saying, you know what, that lick is not as hard as you think it is. So from a C chord, I go C, E, G, 1, 3, 5, and a flat 7 on top. All you have to do is take your index finger and go up a whole step, and you're immediately set up for the lick. Isn't that amazing? Let's do that again. C, E, G, 1, 3, 5, flat 7 of the C major scale. Now index finger goes up to F sharp. One and then 1 triplet, 2 triplet, 3 triplet. So you get used to holding the top note. This lick teaches so many different things. The first thing is you have that flat 7 that we're looking for that sounds amazing. You also have the tritone, the sharp 4. What's a tritone? A 4 away from whatever note, and then you sharp it. That gives you the tritone interval from C up to F sharp. Also called the sharp 4, sometimes called the flat 5, but we're calling this a sharp 4, the tritone. And you had this 1 and then, or 1 triplet. Notice that I'm holding the top B flat. 1 and then my F and A come down to get that second inversion triad that we've been talking about, right? You have, and all you have to do then is hit the C, and you go C minor triad, 1, flat 3, 5, and have that index finger slide up for that minor third to major third. Watch this very slowly. You have to get used to holding that G. Alright guys, welcome to lick number 10. This is a familiar type lick that we do at iMusicAcademy. A lot of the time you guys are doing this. It's actually at the end of Blues Volume 1, but now we're extending the line to make sure you can play all the way up and down the keyboard. No matter what key you're in, it's going to be the same fingering. And what we're going to do is just talk about the way and the importance of the connection of being able to play it all the way up and down the keyboard. And it's just one simple trick that you have to make sure you pay attention to. So as we go ahead and work on the lick, we're looking at the third up to the root. Notice my fingering is going to be 1, 5, 1, crossover with my second finger chromatically, and then I go the 9th up to the flat 7. So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and. Notice that the fingering is going to be the same all the way through. 1, 5, 1, 2, 1, 5, 1, 2, 1, 5, 1, 2, 5, 1, 2, 1. And I could keep going down the keyboard, no problem, right? But here we go. Let's go ahead and make sure we know where the beats line up with the left hand, and then I'll show you, make sure you understand the trick. Here we go. 1 and 2. That minor third, E flat, goes with the E. So 1 and 2 and 3 and the G lines up with the D. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 chromatically down. And the C's line up together. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2. The B lines up with the E. And 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Now here's the one of the important parts that you have to remember is that we've been going down chromatically, and now we're going to cross over a whole step down. So going down to that A flat, and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So we went down a whole step, and that sets us up for the 5th, which is G against the C. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 Now we have to cross over one more time with the whole step, minor third to major third, and then it starts over again. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 chromatically, a whole step down, and then we end back up on the E, which is the third up to the root. 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2, 3 and 4 and 1. And I could keep going down the keyboard with that same exact pattern, but let's go ahead and make sure that I tell you guys where exactly all of the beats line up with the left hand. 1 and 2 and, that's the first one, the E flat, and the G's with the D. C's are together. 1 and 2 and 3, 4 and 1 and 2, and the E is with the B. 1 and 2 and 3, 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Hey guys, this is Bob Taylor with iMusicAcademy. I want to welcome you guys to Blues Volume 3. Appreciate you guys hanging out with me through Blues Volume 1 and Blues Volume 2. Let's go ahead and keep things rolling. The first thing we're going to do is a reminder that the first 5 notes of the blues scale are really important. C, E flat, F, F sharp, G. And we've been doing licks that use the 5 and the sharp 4. But I want to get you guys doing a 4 to the sharp 4 with this sound. Notice it goes down to the minor third there. This lick may appear pretty simple, but it's actually very strategic of getting this sound. And another important thing about this lick, this is the kind of lick that you can play over the entire blues section. In fact, if I was improvising with this on a blues, even though I'm going to show you how to play this on F and on G, I would most likely just stay here, even when I go to F. I just love that sound. And even when I go to G, listen. Playing a blues and you have the home blues scale, which is C, you can use those notes over all 3 chords. In fact, it sounds better, in my opinion, to stay on the C blues scale as opposed to trying to go each time C blues scale, F blues scale, G blues scale. And sometimes that means licks too. This won't necessarily sound, it will sound good if you play it with a lot of confidence, but just make sure that you understand you can use this over the whole lick, C, F, and G. Let's go ahead and just dig into the fingerings real quick. We're going to go 2 and 5 on the lick, hammering on to the sharp 4, the F sharp with our 3rd finger. And then second finger on F, thumb on E flat, crossover, C, thumb on G, second finger on B flat, and 3rd finger on C.